Welcome to Women Back to Business and its introduction. Let me briefly introduce you Patricia Widmer. She is the highly experienced lead of the program Women Back to Business. And next to that, she is a former participant of the program. Myself, my name is Anneke Ludwig. I actually finished the program this year, and today I signed my contract as a program manager in the Women Back to Business team. We would like to present to you the Women Back to Business program in a presentation which will last about 20 to 25 minutes. You will see all the information on your screen, and below there is a field where you can ask questions at any time during the presentation. We will collect all your questions, and at the end of the presentation, we will be happy to answer them individually. I would like to hand over to Patricia now.
Thank you, Anneke. A warm welcome from my side as well. Thank you very much for joining the webinar about the Women Back to Business program, and I'm really happy and excited to give you more insights about the program. So let me start with the presentation. And what I would like to show you here is a real success story. As you can see on the picture, those are all former participants and also current participants of the Women Back to Business program during our 10-year anniversary last year. The German-speaking program actually celebrated 10 years, and it is not only a success story, but each participant actually has her own success story. And so my question really is, would you like to be part of this success story? Would you like to write your own success story? If so, please stay and let me show you how we can support you, how the program is structured, and what we can provide you in order to go back to business or to reposition yourself. Let me start with saying a few words about our university. Obviously, the University of St. Gallen is well known, highly achieved, and one of the largest business faculties in the German-speaking area. And we're very proud to say that for the second consecutive year, we were ranked 4th in the business school ranking of the Financial Times. So having such a great program here at the university, we are now looking for you to be a participant in this program. We would like to support and provide insights to motivated women who have an academic degree from a university or a University of Applied Sciences, who have either taken a break or would like to reposition themselves because they work below their potential. And of course, they would like to go back into a position where they can really be satisfied and fulfill their dreams and their potential. So my question is to you, how long has your career break been? It is now possible. It is a survey. You can mention it. And now we're waiting to actually get the results and see how long your career break has been. And I can see now that the results are coming in. And I'm looking to my colleague. I think we can have the final result. And it's very interesting because, as I can see, the majority said 1 to 2 years, also a few with actually less than a year. And at the other end, also a few with more than 10 years. And now I'm going to show you the average numbers in our program to let you know how the participants are in the program, to give you an idea of how the class is structured. So let me close the survey and keep on going. So as you can see, 50% of the participants were actually unemployed for more than 5 years, which actually also reflects your answers. A little bit more details about the numbers. As you can see, there is a peak between 1 and 5 years of a career break. But we also have quite a good number who actually never stopped working, and those are the ones that would like to reposition themselves. And then also we have about 10 to 15% who had a break of more than 10 years. And this is also still possible. I often get the question if a break of more than 10 years is a factor that would kind of get more barriers in your way, but it's not true. There's no correlation between the length of your career break and the success after you're going back to business. Furthermore, I would like to show you also a little bit about the average age of our participants. And yes, every age is the right age, as you can see, because we have a wide range in the age of our participants. It starts from the beginning of 30s up to like over 55. And this is wonderful, especially for us from the team, but also for all the participants, because you get different perspectives. You can really exchange ideas, and you can see that the class dynamics gets that much more interesting. But as you can see from the numbers here, we see a peak like end of 30s, beginning of 40s. This is usually the age where one asks themselves, okay, what's next? What could I do with my career? Or where could I take the next step? Because let's face it, we have more than 20, 25 years ahead of us. So we really want to choose wisely what you can do. And it is kind of a privilege to take a step back and reflect upon your challenges, but also about your opportunities. So as you can see, not only from a perspective of the length of your break and for your age, but also in terms of where your educational background comes from, the class is quite diverse. The majority of the participants do have a background in management or business related. It could also be economics. But then we also have quite a good number, about a third of the participants have a science background. With science, I really refer to the STEM subjects like science, technology, engineering, and math. And then we also have some participants who studied some kind of a humanities subject. It could be languages or history or along those lines. And then it's very diverse. We had participants who were architects or even artists. So I really, really appreciate the diversity of the class, and I can also echo what the participants gave feedback to us, that they really liked that diverse atmosphere to bring more and new perspectives on their journey and on their way back to business. In terms of where they come from, so obviously 80% from the German-speaking Europe. However, in the English-speaking class, the actual nationalities, they are also very diverse. So from all over the world, really. And that makes it very interesting, sometimes also challenging. But with those challenges, you actually also grow. So that is actually a wonderful fact. So now I would like to come to kind of the second part, where I would like to give you more insights about the program, about the content of the program. Yes, it is a management program. It is a certificate in advanced studies in general management. But that's actually not all. There's much more. And I think our huge benefit and advantage is really the much more. There's group coaching. The participants have to do an internship, or how I like to call it, a returnship. There's individual coaching, and there are skills trainings. So the participants really get all that, I would say, additional information besides the management essentials to really get the support on their journey to the way back to business or into a new position. And the group coaching is something that the participants spend 2 days with a certified and qualified coach in a smaller group. And the individual coaching is something the participants get 5 hours for their individual journey, so they can have 5 hours personally with a coach to really talk about their individual situation. The returnship is done with a company. It could be either a company that we work with, a partner company, or a company in your network. And then in the skills training, it's actually really hands-on. In those workshops, you'll learn how to write a CV, how to come up with your elevator pitch, do's and don'ts in the interview process, and also the presentation skills that are so important in business life, but also in the recruitment process. Let us dive a little bit deeper into the modules. So basically, there are about 12 modules over the course of about 9 to 10 months. So there are modules taking place every month, about 2 to 3 days, with a large summer break. We try to accommodate the school vacations, so we do not have any modules during the school holidays. Furthermore, as you can see, the dark green rectangles, they reflect the management topics, and the light green ones, those are the additional modules like the coachings and the workshops. And then parallel, you get the individual coaching, and of course, the returnship, which has to be at least 5 days. However, we recommend about 3 to 6 months. We say 5 days because some of the participants still have a part-time job and they do not want to quit it for that. So it is fine to just do like a stage for 5 days in a company. But of course, if you do not have a job and you want to go back, we recommend 3 to 6 months. Maybe another word on the class. There are about 20 to 25 participants each year. And for the group coachings, they're divided into smaller groups of 4 to 5 participants. You actually finalize the whole studies with a case study in a group and a personal essay, and then you're eligible to get the certificate in advanced studies in general management. And the graduation ceremony is usually the summer after you started. So in this case, if you start this year, the graduation would be next year in June, so June 2020. So let me summarize a little bit what you have to actually provide and what we provide to you. So there are 21 classroom days, as I said, divided up into modules of 2 to 3 days. And it's important to know that those modules, they do not take place at the University of St. Gallen. The majority take place on site with the companies. And this is a huge benefit because you get the chance to interact and talk very informally with company representatives to build up your network. And the network is so important here in Switzerland. It's the most important thing because 75% of all jobs in Switzerland are never advertised. So therefore, building up a network and strengthening your network is something that we focus on a lot. Of course, before the modules, you have to do some preparation work, sometimes reading a chapter of a book, an article, maybe do a little presentation, read a case study. It can vary. The length of the program, as you said, around 12 months, but then you have to finalize the essay and the internship. And then, as I said, the final evaluation is based on the group case study and the individual essay. If you do that all, you get 21 ECTS points. And I will get back to those points in my next slide to explain you how this system works here in Europe. So one last topic, which is really important, of course, there's no such thing as a free lunch, so it costs something. I know 24,000 is kind of a steep price. However, I would like to focus on 2 facts. We have the chance to give out scholarships because we work with companies and they fund our executive education fund from which we can give out scholarships for those participants who really need it. In order to make this decision, we need the tax statement, the family tax statement, so we get an idea of what the family income looks like. The second thing that I would like to mention is that we have very individual payment plans. So each participant can actually negotiate her individual payment plan. It's possible to pay monthly installments. You can divide the sum in 2 years. You can, stretch it over 1, 2, 3 years. The important thing about this is that the executive education tuition in Switzerland is tax deductible. So it's very important to talk to us before in order to take advantage of that fact. And of course, then there are also some additional costs for traveling to the modules and maybe staying overnight. Maybe you would like to have more. Maybe after the certificate, you would like to add a few more points. And now I'm going to explain you how the system works in the executive education. So basically, a certificate in advanced studies is like the first step. Then there's the diploma and the master. In order to get a certificate in advanced studies, I think the minimum is 10 points. In order to get a diploma in advanced studies, the minimum is 30 points. ECTS stands for European Credit Transfer System. So it's possible to maybe transfer those credits to another university if you move or if you want to continue your education with another institute. So as you can see, with our program, you get 21 points. So you're only missing 9 points in order to get a diploma. And quite a few of our participants added those 9 points after our program. What do they have to do? They have to add 3 more modules here at the University of St. Gallen. And with the 3 more modules, the 3 more weeks, they get 9 points because each week corresponds to more or less 3 points. If this is of interest to you, it's important to talk to us so we can support you in your choice and also to provide you more information about the programs that we have. So now you've heard a lot about the program. And maybe now you think, okay, but why should I do that? What can I expect? Is it really that successful? Yes, it is. We did 3 evaluations, and all 3 evaluations confirmed that 3 out of 4 graduates found a job after the program. We're very, very happy about this result so that we can empower and support so many women. They found permanent positions, full-time or part-time. They usually work between 50 and 80%. It's also important to be realistic. Below 50%, it's really, really hard to find a qualified job in Switzerland. But sometimes it's more important to focus on the flexibility of a job and rather not really look at the percentage per se. Because if you have a lot of flexibility, maybe you can also work it out with a higher workload. And then I have to say, most of the graduates found some sort of generalistic job. Could it be as a project leader or a team leader even? Maybe you were the head of a small company or the head of a program. So that's something that we see a lot. But not only the hard facts, like how many participants and graduates found a job afterwards, but it's also about the soft facts. And that actually goes back to what I said before regarding the coaching and the workshops. It's important to build up the self-confidence. It's important to get to know, what can I bring to the table? What am I worth? What do I want? What are the next steps that I could take? And this is something that you really learn in the program. On top of that, you're just more satisfied afterwards because you are able to reflect on what you want to do and work with a professional, with a certified coach on that topic. And obviously, it's just a more satisfied situation if you find a job and it's a job that actually corresponds to your qualification and also makes you happy. Here you see a list of jobs where the graduates actually worked afterwards. And as you can see, usually quite generalistic, not so much into a skilled position, because sometimes it's hard if you have a longer break and you want to go back to your skilled position. So now let me come to the third part, last but not least. It's the collaboration with the companies. It's a very, very important part of the program because we really want to make that link to the corporate world or also to the public sector. And as you can see, we have a lot of companies and organizations that we work with. In the middle, where you see it a little bit darker, those are our partner companies, the ones that actually really support us financially. But all the companies on this slide, they support us in different ways. Could be that they give us give out some internship positions, support the participants on their way. They host the modules, as I already said. They provide sometimes chocolates. They provide contacts to internal positions. So very, very diverse possibilities with those companies. And we're very proud that we can collaborate with them. And as I said, I think that's a huge benefit in order to grow the network that everybody needs here in Switzerland if you are in the process of looking for a new job or going back to business. And I brought you here a testimonial from a former participant. So she says, the Women Back to Business management program helped me to rediscover the potential of my past professional and personal experiences. In addition to the management knowledge, the program gave me new motivation and the confidence I needed to successfully change career tracks. So obviously she looked for a repositioning and she found the support here in the program. And as I said before, especially regarding the soft skills, the self-confidence and the motivation. I also brought you a testimonial from a company representative. And she's actually the head of diversity at Swisscom. One of a former participant did the internship there and was hired permanently. And she really knows how high the potential is of our participants. So it's a really great honor to work with such a wonderful company and with all the others as well. So this brings me actually to the end of the program and the presentation. And I would like to let you know what the application looks like. So the deadline of the application is the 1st of March. However, it's first come, first serve. So the earlier, the better. We already got quite a lot of applications. So if you're interested, feel free to send me your documents. We will then review the application. We do a pre-selection in order to invite the ones that fulfill the formal requirements to an interview. The interviews are conducted as a group interview. So we invite 3 to 5 applicants, and then I ask some questions and a colleague of mine taking notes just to make sure, to get to know you a little bit better and that you can also do some self-reflection. After the interviews, we send out the confirmation of admission together also with the decision of the scholarships. And only after that, you have to confirm that you will participate in the program. Until then, there's no commitment from either side. So really, if you're interested, I really encourage you to send the documents. We would love to invite you to the interview. And only after the interview, we make a decision. And after that, you can reconfirm. And if everything goes according to plan and very well, then we would start with the program and hopefully you as a participant on the 25th of March of this year. And with the first module, we start here in St. Gallen so that you get also a chance to see St. Gallen and the campus. So this is the end of the presentation. And now I would like to answer your questions. Anneke, what do we have?
We have a couple of questions. Thank you for those. And in the meantime, you can still enter your personal questions in the line below, and we will also take them up. We have a question, Patricia, from a lady. She says, I live in Germany. How would this course benefit me?
Very good question. Yeah, I'm totally aware of the fact that obviously our collaboration partners and partner companies, they're mostly here in Switzerland. We do have some links to Germany, but I don't want to say anything that's not true. I want to be very transparent. The network is strongest here in Switzerland. However, it's not only about that, but I think the program will also benefit ladies in Germany with their self-confidence, obviously also the knowledge in management. So overall, I have to say, looking to the past, we had every year about 2 to 3 participants from Germany or also from Austria that actually participated in the program, and they only gave positive feedback because it really helped them.
Thank you, Patricia. Then we have another question. How do I find an internship in the program?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And also here, for me, it's very important to be open and transparent. I always say, I do not give out the internships. I do not allocate the internships. It's not what I do. We support and we facilitate. However, each participant is responsible for her own internship. So we really want to encourage and empower the participants to go out, to become visible, to really work with their networks and find their internships. Obviously, sometimes it's harder, sometimes it's easier. What we can do is, as long as we get an internship from a company, we always forward it to the participants, and then it's a normal application process. However, it's important to know that the responsibility for the internship is with the participants, but a huge support from our side. We really try to open doors. We open up our network, we connect to our business relationships. And so far it always worked out, because obviously doing an internship is a requirement in the program. And so everybody has done an internship so far. Sometimes actually, I want to add, it also happens that somebody finds a permanent position from the beginning without doing an internship, and that's fine as well. But that's really the minority. The majority finds an internship and from there into a permanent job.
Thank you, Patricia. Then another lady asked, what is the maximum number of students in the course?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I said before, usually 20 to 25 participants. I think that's a good number. Last year we had a record. We had 28 participants in the program. It was wonderful, but it also showed me that I would say 30 is probably the maximum. I would love to empower and support more women. However, the quality really can start to suffer, I think, going above 30. So if there's a huge demand, maybe we should think about a second program. However, then we need many more participants. But I would say around 30 as a maximum is realistic.
Excellent. Another question. Do the companies which sponsor the program have a program itself for people who had a hiatus in their career?
I only know of 2 companies that we work with that have their own programs here in Switzerland. One is UBS. UBS is a partner company, and they have their career comeback program, and we collaborate quite closely. And actually 3 of our former participants last year started with the UBS career comeback program after they did our program or parallel to our program. The other company is Credit Suisse. They're a collaboration partner of ours, and they also have their real returns program for people who come back to business. And in the past, we had about 4 or 5 participants who did that program as well. The other companies actually do not have programs here in Switzerland. However, they have their career comeback programs sometimes abroad. For instance, Deloitte, they have programs in the UK and in the US. GE, they have a program in the US. So a lot of the companies have programs in the US or the UK, but not in Switzerland yet. So the only ones that I know of are UBS and Credit Suisse.
Thank you. The questions are coming in, which is excellent.
Yeah,
Feel free
wonderful.
to add more. What about women who would like to set up their own business? How would this course benefit them?
Yes, that's a good question, and I didn't mention that during the presentation. I would say in each year we have about 10 to 20% of participants who in the end actually found their own business. And the program really supports them as well in terms of management knowledge, but also in terms of coaching, because it can be very lonely to find your own business. And so with the coaching, you maybe get a sparring partner. So On top of that, we also provide additional modules. Last year, we provided a module called entrepreneurship, and we plan to do that as well this year again. And we obviously have here in St. Gallen the Institute for Entrepreneurship, where we can, open doors and support you in getting a relationship there. So that's something that we really love to support as well. And one story that I would like to share is about 2 years ago in the German-speaking program, 2 participants actually met in the program, and they realized that they have the same passion. And in the end, they found their own company, actually in the fashion business, and they now are proud owners of a fashion company, and they're doing really well, they're successful, but it all started here in the Women Back to Business program, and that's a wonderful success story, and I hope that many more can happen like that. And also, like for founding your own company, you do have to write a business plan, and that's something that we can support you with as well.
Good. I have one last question here on the iPad. So if you have some more, feel free to ask them below on your screen. You can enter them. What is the total duration of the program?
Yeah, so we start in March with the first module, and then there's a pretty large summer break, and then the last module is in November of this year. After that, each participant has to finalize the essay and their internship. And then the graduation will be in June 2020. So depending on how fast you are with your essay and your internship, it can go between 12 to 18 months. But the graduation is usually, I would say, 15 months after you have started.
Patricia, that would be it from the question side.
Wonderful.
So far.
Wonderful.
I'll hand over to you then.
Thank you very much, Anneke. What I would like to add is if you have any more questions, if you have questions that come up in the next few days, feel free to contact me. You do have my contact details in the presentation, but you can also find them online. Send me an email, call me. I'm really, really happy to answer your questions. We also have a few information events in person coming up in the next few weeks. So if you would like to attend one of those, I'm happy to meet you in person. And as I said, feel free to contact me.
Oh, Patricia, I have to interrupt you. There's another question.
Wonderful.
2 actually. Do essays also have to be written in German?
No, if you do the English-speaking program, then you can obviously write the essay in English. However, if you feel more comfortable writing the essay in German, you can do that as well. So we're quite flexible. You could even write it in French because it's a language here in Switzerland, and we do have somebody who can evaluate it. But I mean, usually if you do the English-speaking program, you would write your final work in English, and if you do the German-speaking program, you would do it in German. However, we can do an exception, and if you have another language that you feel more comfortable in, that's possible, as long as you can find somebody who can evaluate it. So I say German, English, French, maybe Italian, it's about it. So other languages, unfortunately, we cannot accommodate.
We're staying in the area of languages. Maybe you could explain a little bit more whether the German courses are only in German and the English only in English, or do I have to know both languages?
No, it's absolutely like that. The English-speaking program is only in English, and the German-speaking program is only in German. It could be that a lecturer maybe, throws in a paper in English in the German-speaking program, or I don't know, in the English-speaking program, maybe there's a slide or a word in German. However, the spoken language is always English or German. And in the German-speaking program, all the lectures are in High German. So it's not in Swiss German, it's in High German. But obviously during the breaks, during the coffee breaks, it could be that a group would speak in Swiss German. But as soon as somebody would approach the group where Swiss German would be a challenge, the group immediately changes to High German. But yes, the English-speaking program is in English, the German-speaking program is in German. So it's absolutely not necessary that if you do the English-speaking program that you speak German. Absolutely not. And as you can see from the locations where we have the modules, you can find that online on the website. With the German-speaking program, we are on site with companies that are quite Swiss, like Migros or Swisscom, Raiffeisen, where with the English-speaking program, we're on site with companies that are very international and global, like UBS, Zurich Insurance, Nestle, Swarovski, and so on. So we really try to accommodate that as well.
Thank you very much. That's it.
That's it. Wonderful. So then I would like to thank you one more time for participating in this webinar, and feel free to contact us anytime, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much.